Let's
get
into
WWE's
that then.
first pay-per-view of the year for 2021. That's going to take place the next night on the 31st. Let's go through that then.
Big weekend of wrestling, man. It's unbelievable. It's probably the biggest weekend in wrestling for a long time.
I love it. So excited. Right, what we got?
Well, we'll go with Asuka and Charlotte Flair defending their women's tag team championships against Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler.
New champs, I'm saying.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say, even after all the things I've just said earlier, I'm going to go out on a limb and say Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax.
The thing is, Charlotte is kind of feuding with Lacey Evans.
Yeah.
Asuka's kind of feuding with Bliss.
You wouldn't think that they were tag team. You wouldn't even think they were a tag team, let alone the champs, when you watch Raw. But then, in the back of my mind, though, is that, like I said last week, they're just ever so slightly, well, I say ever so slightly, I mean, they are teasing a breakup between Nia and Shayna. So, for me, I don't know, like, if you're going to put the title on them, why would you tease them breaking up? Because that feels like that's just going to be, they're probably not going to have the titles for long. But then if you keep them on Charlotte and Asuka, like, you need to, like, surely you'd do more with them as a team because they're just doing their own thing.
I'm sticking with my guns.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with it, but it's a tough one to call.
Do you think they're going to add Lacey Evans and Peyton Royce to the match? But as it stands, Nia and Shayna should probably win it.
Me and Ashley are agreeing a lot today.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not used to it.
It's weird.
Right. I think we should go for the actual main event now, which is Drew McIntyre defending the WWE title against Goldberg.
The actual main event.
Well, it's the actual main event.
Drew McIntyre's winning, and that's the end of it. So let's move on. I mean, we might as well move on now.
I want to say Drew, but there is a wild card with Miz and the Money in the Bank contract. It's because you remember I said this in the review. It was John Morrison that gave the contract, not Miz. So that was their logic of giving it back to Miz.
Technicalities again. Weird. Scraping the bottom of the barrel.
Even though I'm sure someone mentioned this, but when Brock cashed in, it was Paul Heyman that gave the contract. But because he won, I don't feel that can count, can it?
Well, fucking consistency, that's the word to use, I guess, isn't it? Or inconsistency, lack of. We can't really look at that so much, like who's going to actually win the match. If Miz cashes in mid-match and wins it, then everyone's going to get it wrong. But I think you have to pick a winner out of the advertised match.
Yeah, obviously it's McIntyre. I mean, there's no way I'd ever side with Goldberg in a million years.
It's not about siding with it, it's about predicting it, isn't it? And I think the problem is that it should absolutely 100% be Drew. But when you look at the track record, if the track record is to be believed and held up as substantial proof that that's what's going to happen in the future, history would show that Goldberg takes the title.
If he takes the title, I'm telling you now, the next one that we have after the Rumble, the next weekly Raw that we have after the Rumble, I'm going ape shit.
I'll change the title on the graphic and we'll just get rid of weekly roll-up. It'll be Jay Goes Ape. I'm going to say Drew, though, because I do think that this is slightly different. I think this is slightly different. They never 100% put their stock into Kevin Owens, and at the time they weren't really 100% putting their stock into Fiend. However, it might be an unpopular opinion, but I don't think the Fiend necessarily needs a championship at this point.
No.
He's almost like that Undertaker character where he's interested in no matter what story he's in.
Yeah.
And like Jake the Snake was, he doesn't necessarily need a title, I don't think, to be considered like one of the main featured acts on the card.
No,
so
I agree.
I'm going to go Drew.
Yeah, Drew has to win it.
Yeah,
has to. Yeah.
Right, then the opening match, Roman Reigns defending the Universal Championship, and the last man standing with Kevin Owens.
Roman Reigns, obviously. There's no the heat that he's got, and the momentum he's got. There's no way he's going to lose it.
That's sometimes the best way to do it, but I do agree. I think, like as I said before, I can't see Roman dropping that strap until at least Mania.
Yeah,
I don't know.
And even then, it depends who his opponent's going to be.
Well, yeah, because I don't think Roman at this moment will lose it for another year. It feels like. It feels like.
Anyway. I honestly believe that. Yeah, honestly. Yeah, I do.
So I think we're all going Reigns then.
But I'm hoping for another great match that they had at TLC.
Oh, easily. Owens and Reigns are fucking great.
Yeah.
I'd watch them all day long. Easily.
And you know what? I'm actually going to watch this pay-per-view as well.
Well, you might as well. You get it for free from Ash.
Yeah. Right.
We're all agreeing so far. This is.
I know. Here's when it's going to go a little bit different. At the minute, because SmackDown hasn't happened yet, these are the only matches apart from the Rumble matches. So
it's not a lot, is it?
No, but it never is, because you're going to have 2 really long matches.
Yeah, that's true.
I guess.
Then there'll be like
It depends sometimes, though, because the Rumble got to a point where it was like 4 hours long. But I suppose during the COVID era, which is, I mean, is that really what it's called? Cause
I think so. I think you have to call it that, don't you? Right. So we'll go for the Women's Rumble to start with, for the Rumble matches. So far, only 12 people have been announced, but...
Before you say anything, I'm going to go straight in there with Bliss.
Okay.
Now, the wild card, guys, is the rumours that Becky Lynch could be at the Rumble.
I've heard these rumours.
How is that possible, though?
She posted on Instagram, I think it was Instagram, a picture of her holding the baby and in her workout gear, and the caption was something along the lines of getting ready to get back to work. So they put that out there so that people like us will speculate and talk about it, right?
No, I'm sticking with Bliss.
I know this might not be popular, but I don't think you can necessarily count Charlotte out.
No, I hope not. She's had enough fucking spotlight already.
Well, you know, she is arguably the biggest women's star in not just WWE, but professional wrestling.
True. Another person that's rumoured is Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, Ronda is another one.
But of all the people I'm going to go for is Bianca Belair.
Really?
Yeah. She's the one that I can see them pushing. She's the BST.
Bianca's an interesting shout, if you're going to say that. I think I'm going to lean towards Jay and say Alexa, but honestly, for lack of my better judgment, I'm going to say Lacey Evans. Yeah, I don't fully buy it, but I'm going to say Lacey. I just think we're going to build to a Lacey-Charlotte match at Mania.
What's he saying? Charlotte wins the title?
Charlotte will win the title at some point, yeah.
Okay.
100%.
All right. Now, the men's Rumble.
Daniel Bryan. My pick's been the same for a while now. It's going to be Daniel Bryan for me.
I'm going straight in there with Edge. Because I just really want it to happen, that's why.
But I'm going to go with you for Daniel Bryan. Because he keeps saying he's got one more big run in him. And I'd like to see him and Roman have good chemistry.
Well, that is interesting. I'm sure I'm going to regret my Lacey Evans pick, but fuck it. Sometimes you got to go out of left field, right? So that's what I'm doing.
I've heard also, one rumor I heard is they are planning to do a scary moment in the Rumble. So the Fiend is obviously going to get involved.
Yeah, I think we're going to see Fiend at the Rumble somewhere. But
I personally wouldn't mind a cinematic Rumble.
That's an interesting idea.
I don't know how they do it.
I wouldn't like it personally because I just like it as it is, but it's not a bad idea though.
I think he's onto something regardless, because with Alexa Bliss's new character, like, she kind of changes during the match. So she'll be like normal and then she changes into like the evil Alexa persona. Obviously that's going to be heavily edited and therefore a cinematic match, even if it's, you know, not on the same level as something like Bray and Cena or Taker and Styles. But I think regardless, it's going to have an element of, you know, being cinematic to it. But I guess we'll have to wait and see. But to be honest, I'm looking forward to the Rumble.
Rumble's always fun, and it's the first one without Pat Patterson, who invented it, being there.
Yeah,
I expect there to be some sort of tribute for him.
I would have thought so.
Yeah.
Give one person you think might be a surprise entrant.
For the women's, I'm going to say, but it all depends on COVID, though, doesn't it? Well, for the women's, who I'd like to see is Lita again.
Yeah.
For the men's, I don't know, man. That's a tough one for the men's.
Well, I'll tell you what, it ain't a tough one for me. Because for the men's, and I've said this for 10 years, Steve Blackman is going to return at the Royal Rumble.
Literally, I'm going with Steve.
Steve Blackman, there you go. Every fucking year, we're going to say Steve Blackman until that bloody legend shows up at the Royal Rumble. So Steve, come on, man. Get your lethal weapon out. Start bashing people over the head with it.
And your fucking no-shirt, perfect symmetrical fucking body. Get your nunchucks out. Walk yourself down to the Rumble and start fucking booting people in the midsection.
That's what we need. Get your bloody sticks out. Well, 10 years of my life, I've said Steve Blackman will return at the Rumble. 10 years holding to something so ridiculous. If it happens, I'm going to be the happiest fucking bloke going.
Same here.
Well, my women's pick is Eva Marie, because she's been rumored for a while.
That's a good shout.
Okay, yeah. That's a
good shout. Men's, I was going to say Jay White, but obviously with New Japan happening the day before.
Well, yeah, see what happens.
But I'm going to say, generally, CM Punk.
Ooh.
What?
That's a... Look, I thought I was going left field with Lacey Evans. You can't come and shit on me now.
I'm telling you something now. If CM Punk fucking is a surprise entrant, right, and Blackman isn't, I'm going to fucking do something.
It'd be you can't deny that it'd be a hell of a shake-up for wrestling, but I just can't see it happening.
Don't like Punk, so it wouldn't matter to me either way.
It'd be, but the ramifications would be huge, though, because he's still huge in the industry. People still want to see it. There's still a lot of people that want to see it, at least. So it would be big. But
well, I'm not one of them.
I can't see it happening. I can't see it happening in the best of times. I can't see it happening during the COVID era.
No, I wouldn't have thought so.
But it's an interesting shout, to be fair. So it's something to be on your toes for. But if it comes down to him and Blackman, so who's going to headline WrestleMania? My boy Steve's going to fuck your boy Phil.
Yeah,
with his lethal weapon.
And